China has urged the Philippines to immediately withdraw personnel and ships that it says are illegally stationed at Sabina Shoal on the Spratly Islands. The Chinese Defense Ministry also warning Manila to stop, quote, heading down the wrong path. This comes as the Philippines says it will stand its ground in clashes over the South China Sea, despite an agreement last week to de-escalate tensions. The Philippine National Security Advisor stressed that Manila will not back down against tactics that seek to jeopardize the country's security and stability. Eduardo Ano was speaking at a forum marking the 8th anniversary of an arbitral ruling that upheld Philippine claims in the South China Sea. Beijing does not recognize that ruling from 2016. Dozens of activists gathered in Manila to commemorate the Philippine victory in that case, which found that China had no historic title over these waters. Beijing yesterday releasing a report outlining what it considers fallacies of the ruling and the damage that it sees it has done to the international rule of law. Tensions over the strategic waterway have soared in recent months following a series of confrontations between Philippine and Chinese ships. A skirmish in June left a Filipino sailor injured, and on Wednesday, Chinese aircraft carrier the Shandong passed close to the northern Philippines, triggering concern in Manila. Beijing, however, insists that its recent, quote, far sea combat training is in line with international law.
近期山东舰编队赴相关海域进行远海实战训练，系年度例行安排，符合国际法和国际实践，不针对任何特定目标。今后，中国海军将常态组织类似演练，不断提升航母编队体系作战能力。
Meanwhile, fisherfolk in the Philippines continue to ply their livelihoods near disputed territory in the South China Sea. That's despite a new maritime patrol regulation imposed by Beijing. This was implemented about a month ago. The law authorizes the Chinese Coast Guard to detain foreign ships if it suspects them of illegally entering what Beijing considers its territorial waters. CNA's Berna Bernal with this report.
An array of deep-sea fish welcome early morning visitors at the Subic fish port in the Philippines' northwestern coast. Among them are the catch of fisherfolk in and around Scarborough Shoal, a chain of reefs and rocks ruled by a 2016 arbitral tribunal as a common fishing ground among artisanal fisherfolk of Vietnam, the Philippines, and China, including Taiwan. 8 years ago, the International Tribunal ruled against China's expansive claims in the South China Sea. An arbitral tribunal under the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague said there was no evidence that China had historically exercised exclusive control over the waters and resources there.
Among the boats that frequent the vicinity of Scarborough Shoal is this one, despite a Chinese regulation threatening to detain those China considers as maritime trespassers. The fishing crew of this boat still decided to head back near the shoal where their fish aggregating device is located.
Fisherman Freddy Legaspi was one of those who returned near the shoal despite China's new regulation that was implemented nearly a month ago.
Minsan po kasi pag malapit kami doon sa Boro, tinataboy po kami ng Chinese Coast Guard, pinapalayo. Imbis na madali kami pumunta sa payaw namin, napapalayo tuloy kami. Medyo nangangamba po ngayon dahil sinabihan din kami ng amo namin na mag-iingat dahil nga doon sa policy nila na yun nga manghuhuli nga ng mga mangingisda papasok doon sa Scarborough Shoal. Bali yung payaw po kasi namin doon malapit. Kaya obligado kaming puntahan yun. Doon kasi kami nanguhuli ng mga isda na iuwi namin.
A fish aggregating device that's used to attract fish, locally known as payaw, can cost upwards of $1,300 US. It's a steep investment for local fisherfolk and boat owners who refuse to abandon such devices out at sea despite possible run-ins with the Chinese Coast Guard. In late June, their boat's engine exploded 17 nautical miles southwest of Scarborough. Freddie waited 2 hours while suffering second-degree burns before being rescued. The Philippine Coast Guard accused the Chinese Coast Guard of initially blocking its rescue mission that was heading to help Freddie. Freddie's parents know the dangers of deep-sea fishing all too well. Freddie's brother Rodrigo remains missing since a 2006 deep-sea fishing expedition he joined. Their boat never got back to shore. Freddie's wife, Lawrence, is also worried about the medical costs for his burn injuries.
Mas maganda po yung ganun, may nakahanda po yung gobyerno natin na tulong para sa mga mangingisda, sa mga ganito pong aksidente para
nabangga ng bato.
Opo. Kasi doon lang din po talaga sa karamihan umaasa sa pangingisda lang po talaga. Doon sila nabubuhay po. Kaya sana anuhin po rin po ng gobyerno na patuloy na bantayan nila yung mga Pinoy na nasa Scarborough po.
Scarborough Shoal's inner lagoon has been effectively controlled by China since 2012, despite the 2016 arbitral award. The ruling also declared that certain areas of the sea, including the Second Thomas Shoal and Mischief Reef, are within the exclusive economic zone and continental shelf of the Philippines. Analyst Lucio Pitlo III explains that apart from the arbitration, the Philippines' recent submission to the United Nations for its Extended Continental Shelf, or ECS, is another legal tool in its arsenal to compel China to align its claims with the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS.
The Philippines filed unilaterally this ECS claim. So for Vietnam and Malaysia to protest is natural. But if they will eventually negotiate, with the Philippines to try to address this overlap ECS claims, then that means that there's room for the three sides, for the three countries to actually realize, an ECS negotiation for the three states that is within UNCLOS, and this will put China in isolation.
But as China continues to reject the 2016 award, the question remains on how to compel the Asian giant to abide by the international ruling. Buena Bernal, CNA, Subic, Philippines.